Hey, welcome to the channel. My name is Mike, and in this video, I'll be talking about 5 different point-of-sale systems you could choose from for your business. And it doesn't matter what kind of business you have, whether that is a single little, maybe you go out on the weekend, you sell a couple things at a market, or maybe you sell some things online, some things in person. Maybe you have a larger restaurant, a food truck, maybe a full-blown brick-and-mortar retail store. Whatever it is, there is going to be a best point-of-sale system for you. And unfortunately, I think a lot of people don't spend enough time considering this, and maybe they just go on Google, look up credit card reader, click on the first ad they see, and unfortunately end up either spending too much on fees or otherwise miss out on some really great features that they otherwise could be getting for the same price or even for less with a different system. So the 5 systems we have in this video really vary quite a bit in who they're going to be ideal for and what the benefits for each of them are. My goal in this video is to help you decide which one is the right one for you and to inform you a little bit more about these 5 different options. This video is not sponsored. We do have some links down below. I think maybe 2 of them are affiliate links. The rest are just regular links. We're looking for the best deal for you. So any intro offers, we'll put them down in the description below if you want to get started with any of these. And with that being said, let's get started with the first out of these 5. In no particular order, the first one that I think a lot of people probably don't even know about is made by Shopify. Now, Shopify, as a lot of people kind of recognize, is an e-commerce giant. They have a website builder that a lot of people use to make an online store. But what many people don't know is they also have a credit card reader, which has some advantages. Having a credit card reader made from the same company that also has one of the biggest, if not the biggest, e-commerce platforms out there, the advantage is that you kind of bridge a gap that otherwise would exist between your physical inventory, your physical store, and your online store. So even if you mostly just sell, let's say you sell candles, maybe you sell some really cool little artsy candles that look like food. Have you seen those? Like, I have a couple at my house. I think they're the coolest things. And selling those in person, they do really well. They do very well in markets, but I know for a fact they would also do very well online. Something like that, if somebody has a physical shop, they could make an online store very easily without having 2 different accounts, 2 different invoices, 2 different inventories, 2 different systems. It's all on one system. For smaller shops like that, I think it's really quite ideal. There are some other advantages with the Shopify one and some disadvantages I'll talk about in a second, but going through the advantages, very easy setup. You don't have to call any kind of sales agent or anything like that. In fact, I have a tutorial. I think this is the only one in the video I have a tutorial on, and I'll walk you through exactly how to set this up if you want to. It's just a couple clicks. You can actually get this little reader for free, and there are, let me just actually go to a new tab here. There are 4 different ways you can accept credit cards with Shopify. So you have the countertop kit, which is $459, definitely for larger scale businesses. The POS Go is a little bit more similar to this one that I'll talk about in just a second. The tap and chip reader is $49, but like I said, you can actually get it for free if you get the POS Pro plan. I'll talk about the plans in just a second. And a 4th option, which I think is really cool, is tap to pay on iPhone. So you can actually just use your iPhone to accept credit cards for tap and pay. So if somebody wants to pay with Google Pay or Apple Pay or whatever, they can walk over, tap your iPhone, and you can accept credit cards like that. So the advantage of having something smaller is that if you're at a market or some kind of really busy environment, maybe everybody in your team can use their own iPhone or use one of these because they're only $49, and they can all, manage different customers at the same time and hopefully make more sales like that. Another advantage is that you do have some really deep integrations with Shopify. Being the largest player in the game, it makes sense that they work well with a lot of email platforms out there. So if you want to have automated receipt emails, or maybe you want to email people for abandoned carts when they're shopping online, or if you want to run TikTok ads, Facebook ads, anything like that, it all integrates very, very well with Shopify. And it's such a seamless experience. It makes it easy for store owners to kind of manage everything just in one spot here. The downside is that there is no free plan. You are going to have a monthly fee. That kind of brings me into the next slide here. I know this is kind of tiny. I wanted to show all 5 at the same time though. We have 5 different plans. The top row and the bottom row are very different. So the top row is excluding an online store. Just if you want to do POS, you have the starter option, which is $5 per month. But if you can look closely there, they actually charge 5% per transaction, so an extra fee right there. So if you're a small business, if you're just selling maybe $30 to $40 a week or something like that, just getting started, it may not be ideal. If you're selling a little bit more, maybe $100 to $400 a week, that could be ideal. The retail option does give you some pretty big advantages of having, a larger team, multiple store locations, and different things like that. Then down here, these 3 options are actually just the website options, so you could probably ignore the two on the right and just look at the $29 per month one, this one does give you what's called POS Lite, which allows you to accept credit cards in person. It also gives you a full online store with basically no limitations. And so that's probably the one that I think would be the best for most people. $29 a month. You can sell on POS, point of sale in person, and you can have an online store. Managing it all at once for $29 a month, I think that is what makes the most sense for a lot of people. But not all stores are going to be like that. Moving on to the next one on our list. This is actually Helcim, and I have their reader right here. This one is actually really cool. They have a couple different readers, but this one is called their Smart Terminal. I personally think it's really nice because this is what you see at a lot of restaurants. You see it at a lot of stores in general. It basically does everything. This is technically running Android. So you plug it in with USB Type-C, I believe on the side here. There it is. You can also plug it in with a little pin and barrel plug on the left side if you wanted to charge like that. On the top, we have a little camera for a barcode scanner. So if you have barcodes, you can do that. We also have a receipt printer in here. We have the ability to swipe credit cards on the side, to tap on the top, Google Pay, Apple Pay. We have the chip reader on the bottom. There's a lot that you can do with that reader. So the reason that we like Helcim, there's no long-term contract. Shopify, by the way, has no contract at all, but no long-term contract here. You do a volume discount. If you're receiving more than $50,000 a month, you can get some volume discounts on there. And it does a lot of things. So point of sale, it does invoicing, a lot of different business management tools on the back end. In general, I think this is really cool. By the way, this right here, even though this is a Helcim branded reader and it has all their software on here, which makes it very easy to find items, or you could scan barcodes or whatever, it's actually made by a third party. This is the Castle's Saturn 1000 model. So again, something that they kind of just use, and in my opinion, it works quite well. Now the pricing for this, there's no monthly fee. So $0 a month, that's a big advantage. In person, it's 0.4% plus 8 cents per transaction. And online, 2.9% plus 25 cents per transaction. So the online sales are actually really quite on par with Shopify. I think Shopify is about 2.8% per transaction and 30 cents per transaction. So really quite comparable there as well. Moving on to the third one on this list. This is actually Stripe, one that I think most people have heard of. They're very familiar. And this is going to be ideal for businesses who really want to customize a lot more about this. So you're actually able to customize your full checkout flow, everything about it. You can customize for your own store. So I think larger stores who are looking to kind of streamline it, make their own system for every single cashier would really benefit from Stripe. It's something that I think could have some quite a few advantages if you're willing to put in that investment, but it's not going to be the best for very, very small shops who just want something simple with just a couple items that they're selling. They do also, of course, have 24/7 phone and chat support. So that's really nice to have phone support as well all the time, just in case you're working, maybe in a different time zone, maybe in weird hours, and something's going wrong. You're trying to accept payments. It's embarrassing. It's nice that you can call support and get that on there as well. It also accepts over 135 different currencies. All of these actually accept quite a few different currencies. I don't have the numbers on the other ones, but they're usually over 100 currencies. Odds are, if you're watching this video in English, you're probably accepting one of 5 different currencies, and those are almost definitely going to be accepted on these. It also integrates with some big players out there like HubSpot, for example, if you're doing your CRM through HubSpot. And as far as the pricing goes here, again, $0 monthly fee. You do have to watch out if there's any kind of sign-up bonuses with this. You may have longer-term contracts, so definitely read all the, everything, the fine print before you go through with this. But you have 2.9% plus 30 cents for online transactions, and 2.7% plus 5 cents for in-person transactions. So for smaller transactions, you're selling a pack of gum or whatever, 5 cents is pretty easy to build into that price, unlike 30 cents, where you might want to consider having a minimum order price, right? So if you're selling something for $1 and there's a 30-cent in-person transaction fee, it's not really going to be worth it. But 5 cents, I think, makes it a lot more approachable. So I think that's a big benefit with Stripe. All right, so next up we have Clover. Now, Clover is really kind of interesting because you're able to purchase the Clover hardware and then use it with the payment processor of your choice. So if you like to work with PNC or Wells Fargo or like Citibank or any of those out there that are some pretty major players, and you just want to work with your own bank like that, you're able to do that with Clover. So there is actually a free plan, but Clover also has their own option as well. So there's a free plan for the mobile card reader, which is really cool. There's online ordering for restaurants that actually has no additional fee. Again, a big benefit there. A lot of flexibility with your service provider, your banks, however you want to set that up, as I mentioned before. And just like Stripe, you want to watch out for any promotions that they might have. This could be a big advantage if you want to stick around long term, but definitely keep in mind that they could have some type of little clause in there that it is a long-term contract on those promo deals, kind of like what phone carriers do and stuff like that. Now, as far as the pricing goes, it starts at $0, but I think the most common one is going to be $14.95 a month, I believe. The in-person fees are 2.3% and 10 cents per transaction, so that's actually quite competitive. The online transaction fee, however, is substantially higher, 3.5% plus 10 cents. So 10 cents is lower than the others. Usually they're 25 to 30 cents, but 3.5% is about 0.6% higher. So if you're selling larger quantities or big ticket items, that may not be what you want. For cheaper items being sold online, that could be quite an advantage that you're choosing the percentage instead of the dollar amount fee per transaction. Then the fifth one we have is actually Toast right here. This is a very popular one for a lot of restaurants. Very easy to leave tips on here. Very easy for, anyone working in the restaurant to manage it. You can have your menu on there. And they do have 3 different pricing plans. They have the starter kit, which is $0 per month, which is pretty nice. So you have cloud-based point of sale as well on here. You can configure the hardware with one terminal, or you can have more hardware with the more expensive plans. So the typical point of sale one is $69 per month. And so this is going to be great for, like I said, most restaurants, food trucks, anyone like that is probably going to be choosing Toast. So that's kind of a summary of 5 different point of sale options you have. Like I said, we will have some links down below if you want to get started with these. And if you have any questions about them, be sure to leave a comment down below. I'm happy to answer any questions you might have about, the Helcim, the Shopify POS terminal, any of the other ones that, we've tried and we wanted to kind of share with you in this video. So thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, consider subscribing, and I'll see you in the next video.